Story Time with Tomfoolery presents...
Here we go.
Dee's Big Nuts.
Yep.
Dee was a squirrel who had big nuts.
Okay.
His nutsack was so big that it would drag on the ground everywhere he went.
Big nuts.
Dee had a friend named Sarah who loved nuts. Sarah would go around the town trying to put everyone's nuts in her mouth.
No.
Sarah loved how big Dee's nuts were.
Run, Dee.
His nuts were her favourite. They were the biggest nuts she had ever seen.
She's for the trees.
She would play with his nuts all day, and sometimes even at night.
Nice.
Sometimes her mum would join.
Yo!
They would take turns holding Dee's nuts at night.
What?
Sometimes Sarah would even try to put both of his nuts in her mouth at once.
Ugh.
She would giggle. Her face would turn red. And then his nuts would come flying out. One day, someone ran up to his nuts and started poking them. "Hey, jerk, off my nuts," he said. Although Sarah loved Dee's nuts, she would sometimes kick them. She once kicked them so hard, she busted a nut.
Sarah!
Dee was very sad that Sarah busted his nut.
Yeah, not that
He
way.
just wanted Sarah to play nice with his nuts. One day, when his nuts were feeling better, she took them to lunch,
Sweet.
where she got peanut butter all over them.
Gotta lick it off
His
now.
nuts were so sticky. After that day, she knew she would need to play nice, because all good squirrels know how to play nice
Hug
with big
Dee's
nuts.
nuts.
The end.
This is gonna be a great video. Whoever came up with this idea, you sir or ma'ams and sirs are a genius. This is giving me like if you give a mouse a cookie vibes. You know, like that book that had a bear on the front and that other book that had a fish on the front, a rainbow fish, and then the other one with the caterpillar. Real ones know what I'm talking about.
Reach Around Books presents
Brenda's beaver needs a barber. Wow.
Brenda has a beaver, and she's ready to confess. As soft and sweet as it may be, her beaver is a mess. Brenda's beaver's big. Brenda's beaver's hairy. Every guy who's seen it says that Brenda's beaver's scary.
I bet.
Brenda took her beaver for a swim down at the lake. By the looks that she received, she figured that was a mistake. She stuffed that furry mound into a swimming suit.
Yo.
It stuck out all around. It was anything but cute. Some who saw it laughed. Others were just stunned. Brenda's beaver was hanging out, soaking up the sun. Her friends could not believe her. They said, "We need to talk." They covered up her beaver and they took her for a walk.
Real ones.
"Brenda, dear, listen here. We want to help you out. Your beaver needs a makeover. It really needs it now."
Yeah.
"I hope we don't seem pushy," said her biker friend named Kim. "Your beaver is too bushy. We just think it needs a trim."
Why is...
Savannah pulled her beaver back to show off what she'd done.
Yo!
Hers had a nice long landing patch. It looks like it'd be fun.
Yes, it's
Chrissy's
crazy.
beaver is quite rare. It could be worth $1 million. Hers is bare. It has no hair. Her beaver is Brazilian.
Good, Chrissy.
Catherine let her beaver loose. She said there's nothing to it. Grab some clippers and a can of mousse. We'll show you how to do it. Kim produced some scissors and Chrissy had some wax.
Why?
Now all that Brenda had to do was sit back and relax. As they came towards her beaver, they said, "Now don't be scared. We're going to see what's underneath that frumpy pile of hair."
Bush.
It ended in just minutes. They didn't leave her much. When Brenda's friends were finished, she and her beaver blushed. Her beaver was so tiny, they could not believe their eyes. It was smooth and it was shiny. It was hard to recognize. Now Brenda is so proud.
She got the
It
leg
seems
up.
like every time we see her, she's in the center of a crowd. just showing off her beaver.
And y'all seen Brenda out there? She hit the Captain Morgan. She put the leg up and said, yeah, look at this. Look at this beaver. That one had a lot going on in it, but it was so good. She was dropping bars, and then there was just so much random stuff, like her specific biker friend, Kim. Shout out to Chrissy, though, for keeping it bald.
Reach Around Books presents
Boy.
Come Swing With Us. Tim and Kate are swingers. They really love to swing. They swing high, they swing low. They swing with Sally, they swing with Joe.
Oh, man.
When they swing, there is no norm. They swing with girls, they swing with boys. They wear their pearls and they swing with toys. They swing in masks, they swing in leis. But if you ask, they both will say, we want to swing with a unicorn.
Switching it up.
They switch, they swap,
Yo.
they push, they pull.
Oh.
Their swinging parties are always full.
Interracial
Kate
swing.
will swing with 6 or more, while Tim takes pics. Pics
galore. Why?
Tim likes to watch, so watch he does. Tim likes to film it, just because. They swing in France and in Manila. They even swing with plain vanilla. They swing all night, from dusk till dawn, hoping to find a unicorn. They know she's out there, within their reach. Someday they will swing with her on the beach. While they try to find that beauty, Tim will swing with something fruity.
Tim! That one was absolutely out of pocket. That was so innocent, but so wrong at the same time. Tim is the biggest cuck of all time. Did you see how much swinging was going on? Could you imagine if your kid comes home from school and it's like, oh, I went to the library, and then later on that night, you know, you read their bedtime story and they pull that out their backpack? I'm sure there's actual physical copies of this, and you know someone has snuck this into a library somewhere.
Reach Around Books presents Put Tony's Nuts in Your Mouth.
Okay.
Tony has big nuts.
Bigger than
and
D?
small nuts.
Oh, okay.
He has pecans and walnuts. Nuts without or with a shell. There is no nut that Tony does not sell. Some say Tony's nuts smell great. Some say they taste divine. Tony sells his nuts all day. He always has a line.
Business.
They drive or walk or ride the bus. They come from north and south to take those hot and salty nuts and put them in their mouths.
There you go. There it is.
BJ looks at Tony's nuts
BJ.
and tries hard not to stare as Stephen grabs at his nutsack and finds a big old pear.
Marbles.
Tony dips his chocolate nuts until they are just right. He knows your mum will take them home and suck on them tonight.
Yo!
BJ plays with Tony's nuts in the closet at his house.
Oh
Grandpa
God.
says he should just come out as he pops one in his mouth.
Oh.
He swears it isn't weird or queer. He says it's not a crime.
Nope.
Grandpa licks the salt right off of Tony's nuts sometimes.
God.
Grandpa likes to go in there and take his camera with him. He loves to look at photographs when Tony's nuts are in them. The girls too like Tony's nuts. Of this there is no doubt. Every girl around this town has put them in her mouth. On the way to school today, riding on the bus, the Johnson twins were in the back, sharing Tony's nuts.
Tony.
Back and forth they open up, hoping that they don't get those big and tasty nuts stuck down in their throat.
Oh, you are.
Even Miss Bull Dyke, the
Bull
softball coach, and her special friend will have a go at Tony's nuts
The
every
lesbian
now and
gym
then.
coach.
There really is no argument. Mount Rushmore ought to be a monument of Tony's nuts for all the world to see.
So far, Come Swing With Us takes the cake. That is a #1 seller. That is a New York Times bestseller at the moment. That one was clever. I think I know what was going on there. I think Tony got a fans only. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of making things rhyme, I mean, how else would all those people be able to see his nuts? I mean, the fact that his nuts were so awesome that even the lesbian gym teachers were like, yo, I gotta get these. Oh, tomfoolery. You are a damn fool, sir. That's what you are.
Story Time with Tomfoolery presents Do You Want to Play with My Balls? Hey, Louie. Do you want to play with my balls? Sure, Chuck. I can hold your ball sack so it won't drag on the ground.
Yo.
Wow, your balls are so big, I can't even fit them in my mouth.
Why would...
My mum's always yelling, Louie, get those balls out of your mouth before you choke. You know that mean girl, Sally? She squeezed my balls so hard, they looked funny.
Oh, Sally.
Yeah, well, when I play with Sally, I always end up with blue balls. Billy Johnson made Sally cry last week. Now that kid's got balls. Not anymore. Yesterday, Sally kicked Billy's balls so hard, he lost one.
I don't like Sally.
Look, Louie, your dog is licking my balls. Let's roll them on Sparky's fur. Girls hate hairy balls.
Did they have peanut butter on them?
Chuck, if we show Sally our hairy balls, she'll scream for sure. Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like Sally.
No!
I wish she would just play nice with my balls.
She's not going to.
Yeah, me too. Hi, Sally. Do you want to play with our balls?
Simps!
Sure, but only if I can play with both of your balls at the same time.
Wow. Wow.
Hey bros, what's going on? This is Cotton Eye. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Subscribe, motherfucker.